all of my careful planning failed. All of it. And I'm going to tell you what I did to adapt and overcome a very, very rough week. I did my time blocking. Everything looked like it would be going according to plan until it didn't. A huge issue at work, a rough stomach bug, and very little sleep in between those things led to me not hitting hardly any of my workouts last week. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because I adapted and I adjusted, and I have tools in my tool belt to help me with those things. So that's what I'm gonna cover today, are things that maybe could help you when you come across a temporary hardship that leads you to not hitting the goals that you thought you were gonna hit. Here are 5 tools I prioritize when life temporarily gets flipped upside down. The third one may surprise you. First one shouldn't surprise anybody, and that is to prioritize sleep. So sleep is number 1 for a good reason. Our body absolutely requires it. Everything that we do is better if we sleep enough or more. And when our body is stressed and struggling, sleep becomes even more crucial to our body's function. And so I would say that this has to be number 1. And if it's the only one you can fit in, then fit it in. Then do whatever you have to do to try to add more sleep in, or to fix your sleep, or whatever it may be, because sleep is going to get interrupted when life becomes very stressful like this. I know I will stay up late thinking about a work task, or maybe I get woken up from work and have to go sign in, or whatever it may be. It's going to get messed up when this happens. And so the number 1 way to do that is, unfortunately, I say unfortunately because everyone hates hearing this, clean up your sleep hygiene. So turn the screens off an hour before bed. If you can't, for whatever reason, do that, wear some blue light blocking glasses. Do some eye exercises to help recover them. So look away, close your eyes, things like that. Also, some pre-bed meditation may help. I know it helps me. You can get those for free on YouTube. You can get them on Spotify. I know there's other apps that have them as well. So if you have an app that has some meditations, absolutely grab that and utilize it. Additionally, if you're able to nap, if you have time, if your body lets you, mine certainly doesn't, add some naps in. If you can go to bed earlier, go to bed early. Whatever you need to do, you know your schedule, you know your life better than anybody else. So just look into what you can do and make those adjustments. Another option that I don't hear about very often is to add in some parasympathetic switches throughout the day. And that can really help you to switch into that before bed at night. So the parasympathetic nervous system is sometimes referred to as our rest and digest system. And our sympathetic nervous system is fight or flight. And so when we're in a high stress situation like I was this past week, sickness stresses the body, the work was crazy, I was in sympathetic overdrive. My sympathetic nervous system was just trying to hijack me. And so what I had to do was try to very purposefully tap into that parasympathetic system. And so different ways I do that are, my number 1 method is bilateral movement. So walking, running, swimming, biking, roller skating, whatever it is that is doing this, whatever, some sort of movement back and forth can really, really, really help with that. And I would highly recommend adding that in wherever possible. If it's to go on a walk or add in a little bit of walking here and there, whatever it may be, add that in. The second tool is adjust your schedule and your expectations. You're going to hear me talk about adjusting expectations a lot in this video today, and that's because it's absolutely crucial. When our week is messed up like that, we can't operate normally. We have to change things. We have to give ourselves some grace, as people like to say. I kind of got sick of hearing that when I was postpartum, but it really is true. You have to give yourself some grace. Drop what doesn't fit. If, let's say your workout is an hour and you have 15 minutes, do 15 minutes. Just fit in what you can. Drop what you can't. Drop what doesn't serve you. Drop what isn't working. When I was sick, I was so weak, I was barely able to even walk. I did go on a walk each day. I just went very slow and I shortened it, and that was the best I could do. And you know what? That was good enough. That was plenty good. I was fine with that. I had to be fine with that because it's all I had. And that's just life, right? So we have to accommodate. Another thing is, don't beat yourself up. Dust yourself off and move on. Things are going haywire, and sometimes we just have to lean into it and accept it and Do not overly criticize yourself for those things. We cannot control every bit of our environment. We cannot control what work does. We can't control when we get sick. I mean, we can reduce it, but we can't help it all the time. And so we just have to do the best we can with what we've got, and do not beat yourself up about it. And then the other option is to adjust your workouts in a way that can help you manage your stress better. And I know I already said shorten them. That is one way, but another way is to change what you have on your schedule. So for example, when I'm really stressed, for whatever reason, cardio is more appealing to me. And I think it's because A, it's bilateral movement, like we talked about, a lot of it is. But B, there's just something about it that helps my stress go from here to here in no time. And that cardio can be multiple forms. It doesn't matter. It could be high intensity interval training. It could just be a walk. It could be going for a run. It could be a bike ride, whatever it is. It helps me so much more than weightlifting, and I'm not sure why, but it's kind of always been like that. So I did way more cardio last week than I did weightlifting. In fact, I only lifted one day last week, and that's okay because it was what I needed that week. It's what I needed in the moment and what I needed to do to make things move smoother throughout the week. The third one is breathe. Just breathe. We have to breathe to survive, right? But when we're in a stressful situation, I don't know about you, but a lot of times I'll catch myself holding my breath and then I don't even realize I'm doing it. And so a lot of times what really helps me is to just become simply aware of that breath. In yoga, when I was doing yoga teacher training, we're constantly hearing the mind follows the breath. And I think that's true. If we can slow our breathing down, we can slow our mind down a little bit. So if I catch myself holding my breath, a lot of times I'll just try to take a 10 count for breath to focus on it. I catch myself and I go, okay, we're gonna count 10 breaths. And I'll just breathe normally for 10 breaths and really focus on feeling the air move in my lungs and feel my heart beat while I'm holding it or breathing. Feel the air in the back of my ribs, in my diaphragm, wherever. Just feel it filling up my entire lung capacity is just so important, and it helps more than you can imagine in those moments. Another option is to incorporate box breathing. And so box breathing is, a lot of times you'll hear a 4 count. The count doesn't matter, let's say, but you'll inhale for a 4 count, hold for a 4 count, exhale for a 4 count, hold for a 4 count. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Now the count doesn't matter. You can do 4, you can do 10, you can do 6, whatever. It depends on you and your lung capacity and how you want to breathe. And sometimes if you're really stressed, maybe you can only get 2. That's okay. You're still doing it. That's what counts. So do it. Another breath suggestion would be nasal breathing. So especially while doing another activity. So while walking, while biking, while doing something, really focus on only breathing in and out of your nose. And that will help you tap into that parasympathetic nervous system. It helps a lot with my sleep. I know I talked about in the previous video really struggling with sleep. For whatever reason, if I do some sort of activity and focus on nasal breathing, my sleep is almost always better. And I find that fascinating and really, really neat. So that's something to consider adding as well. There are a ton of different breath practices you can incorporate. So if you know some of those, throw them in. Otherwise, you can just do a quick search, or if you want, hit me up in the comments and we can talk some more about breathing. The fourth one is movement. And I know I've talked about movement in just about every category here, but what I mean is breaking up movement and hitting it throughout the day. So if you have a desk job like I do, set a timer every 30 minutes just to get up and walk down the hallway or around your office or wherever your work is located and come back. That's all you have to do. Or stand up and stretch a little bit, or stand up and do some high knee raises, or whatever floats your boat, whatever suits fancy. Just do some type of movement in that moment. If you have to leave your house for whatever reason, you hear people talk all the time about parking far away and walking in. Do that. It works. It all adds up. It all counts. If you have stairs in your house or your office or wherever you're working or you're located, go do a set of stairs. Go up and down the stairs a couple times or once or whatever you've got in the tank that day. Whatever you do, it all counts and it all helps. And breaking it up throughout the day can make things so much more manageable, and you'll be shocked at how quickly you'll start to feel better as you keep doing more and more of those throughout the day. Another good choice is to just go on a 5-minute walk outside, or however much time you have. Just get outside, get out in the fresh air, even if it's raining, even if it's hot. Maybe if it's too hot, don't do it. Or if it's thunderstorming, maybe don't get struck by lightning, please. But if you can get outside, if the weather is allowing you to get outside, do it. It helps so much. It helps clear your mind, listen to the birds, tap into your senses, and just really take that just a couple of minutes to just enjoy the fresh air and be outside and away from the stressful scenario that you have going on at work. And it helps tremendously. Another option is to add some more stretching in. Sometimes that's all we have the energy for. When I was sick last week, that's all I had energy for was short, very slow walks and some stretching. And it helps tremendously for releasing some tension in the body. It could just be a quick quad stretch while you stand up. I know when I had a stand-up desk, I loved just standing up, and then I would put my foot on the chair behind me just to stretch out my quad. There you go, that counts. Stretch your wrists out if you have a desk job. Stretch your shoulders, whatever feels good, do that. And it's easy to sneak in wherever. People might look at you a little weird, but who cares? If it helps you get through the day, I say who cares? And just remember, sometimes a walk is all we can fit in, and it still counts. It all counts, and it all matters, and it all helps, and it all of this, the end of the day, the goal is to feel better and to feel more calm. My fifth and final tip is inefficiently called the 10-minute lay down. And what I mean by that is you literally find a place you can lay down. Sometimes if you're at an office and there's nowhere to lay down, just use your desk. Just do a 10-minute sit down and don't look at your computer, okay? So do a 10-minute lay down. You lay down, no phones, no music, no TV. I'm talking nothing. Bring your phone with you if you need an alarm, but no, don't look at it. Don't listen to it. Don't put headphones in. Just lay down, close your eyes, and that's it. That's it. That's our goal. We're just going to lay down. And again, if you can only use a chair, use a chair. Sit down, but close your eyes and just allow the time to pass and not fill that time. So you can nap if it calls to you. You can meditate if you want to, but don't set that expectation. Just let it be a 10-minute lay down. And if you want to add on, go for it. But just breathe and relax and accept the quiet and that time away from everything else that's going on, and just let it fill you up. What you can do too is, if you're really struggling, you can help tap into some of your senses, right? So, your eyes are closed, you can focus on, I talked about feeling the air in your lungs. That's one option. Feel the air moving through your lungs. Feel your heart beating in your chest and your back and your neck, wherever you're feeling it beating. Wiggle your toes and feel those. Or if your feet are on the ground and you're in a chair, push your toes into the ground and just feel that sensation. It's a very grounding thing to tap into our senses and to just be who we are, where we are in that exact moment with nothing telling us to be something else. It helps tremendously. All right, those were my 5 tools to try when life gets crazy. Let me know if you try any of them and how they went for you. If you have any questions, let me know. I am going to get back to it because this week I'm not sick. Work seems to be going okay, so I'm going to go hit a workout here in a little bit, get this makeup off, and start throwing a barbell around. I think it's going to help me feel better. How about you? Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.